So today's guest doesn't really need an introduction. Rahul Mishra. Should we just label you the king of embroidery?
There's so many clothes already exist in the world. We don't need so many clothes.
Okay, let's talk about Paris.
Only 30% labels are actually French who are showcasing on the calendar of Paris fashion.
But I'm sorry, that dragonfly was a full copy, huh? Gandhi copy.
There are a million chances that you might fail, and you have just 1 in a million chances to succeed. It's
Yeah.
an amazing team. I think not even a single stitch was done by me.
You're being very humble, huh? So it's going to be hard for you to take any compliment that I give you in this podcast. Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Fashionably Pernia, Season 5. So today's guest doesn't really need an introduction. I think his name is synonymous with high fashion, luxury, embroidery, couture, and I think he is the finest representation of fashion for India. And with that amazing introduction, I want to welcome Rahul Mishra. Hi, Rahul.
Thank you so much.
So the way content creators all over the world cover fashion, especially fashion in the West, they make such a big deal about, a small amount of embroidery done on a jacket. And I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, have they met Rahul Mishra? Do they know about the kind of embroidery and the work that Indian designers do? Because if they did, they would never make a big deal about what's done in the West, because we so casually do so many hours of embroidery. It's laborious. We do it so casually in India, like it's nothing. What do you feel about that?
When you think about a country of 1.4 to 1.5 billion people, craft is something which creates, it's the second largest employment creator in the country after agriculture.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So in that way, when you work on people's skill, we are in a way creating a bit of participation in whatever garment we create. Otherwise, there's so many clothes already exist in the world. We don't need so many clothes.
That's true.
I think these clothes are needed for the people who are working on these clothes. So for us, embroidery becomes not just an idea of expression. Like when I started as a brand, I was only working handloom.
Yeah.
At NID, we were taught how anything you create, think about how can you solve certain problems. So when you think on employment in villages, I think handloom becomes a great tool.
Right.
And when I got exposed to craft, embroidery, especially by my, I would say embroidery guru, Afzal Zariwala from Mumbai. So Afzal Bhai told me in 2012, you do such nice handlooms, give some chance to embroidery also. Then I started learning from him. And today he has become a backbone of whatever we explore, whatever we do. And then, like Afzal Bhai, there are many people who have joined our team.
Yeah.
And today, what we do together, with Afzal Bhai, in a small village called Bonpur in West Bengal, it employs 300 plus people who have reverse migrated from slums of Mumbai back to the villages, are able to live their families, are able to enjoy, beautiful home-cooked meal, which becomes a luxury when you are living in areas like Dharavi or anywhere. And most of these guys who are forced to live in some of the slum areas have got, beautiful houses at back home, because only thing is there's no job opportunity. So for me, embroidery is just a tool to create, more of a kind of engagement. This is also something that makes me emotional. Like Afzal Bhai's daughter, she went to study economics in London, and she's right now teaching over there.
Wow.
So think like what embroidery creates for our country. It's not just about beauty. It enables a person who has never gone beyond primary education to give his next generation whatever education they need or whatever they want in their life. So I think in that way, it becomes a great tool.
It's so heartwarming that you shared that. Because, when you look at things on the surface, sometimes it's hard to look beyond the beauty, right? Especially when it's your clothes, because they are that beautiful. I really do feel like, as an observer of fashion, I guess I can call myself, that there is nobody in India, maybe in the world, who expresses themselves as beautifully and with this much strength as you do with embroidery. Do you think anybody does embroidery better than you? Or expresses themselves better than you? Or you want to, should we just label you the king of embroidery?
First of all,
Yeah.
I think not even a single stitch was done by me.
Chalo,
It's an
with your
amazing
vision,
team.
your vision and your team.
It's an amazing team. And I always say it. I think if there are 500 best embroiderers in the world, 400 are there with us. So we are very, very lucky to have some of the finest skilled, human hands in the field of embroidery. And that's how we have created an ecosystem where everybody thrives. They are able to create, beautiful living for themselves. They are able to create beautiful future for their future generations. So I think in that way, it also becomes a kind of expression for us. As I always say it, like, you think about a mood board, you think about an image which you want to create on a piece of clothing. Easiest is to digitally print it. It will be half an hour job.
Yes.
You do computer embroidery, 50 hours of job. But if you work on hand embroidery for the same visual effect, it might create 5 to 10,000 human hours of job, which for me, the slowness becomes far more powerful.
100%.
As an idea. So, I'm happy.
Also the end product, right? You can tell if it's hand embroidered, the beauty of hand embroidery for the end product, it's incomparable. If you're doing it on machine or if it's digital or whatever it is. And like even just the pieces behind us, this was inspired by Klimt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your clothes are a piece of art. How do you feel when people compare your clothes to like art installations? Like someone could put that jacket behind you, hang it as an art installation in their house.
One girl, she's Dutch, and she bought something, and then after she framed it.
Exactly.
As art for a living room. One of this amazing shoe brand, the owner, he wanted to speak to me because he saw these Klimt embroideries and he was moved by those. It's nice to sometimes connect with some of the best creators of the world because your work reaches to them, so which is nice.
You're being very humble, huh? I think it's going to be hard for you to take any compliment that I give you in this podcast. No, it's sweet. Okay, let's talk about Paris because you're fresh off of Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week. Why is it important for an Indian designer such as yourself or an Indian designer who's reached like the pinnacle of their career or their art in India to showcase in an international fashion week like Paris Haute Couture?
All the designers who end up making big in the country, they migrate to Paris, they showcase over there. When you think about Japanese brands like Sumiyake and everybody, they all also come to Paris and showcase. Whether you're doing haute couture or doing Paris Fashion Week, only 30% labels are actually French who are showcasing on the calendar of Paris Haute Couture Week or Paris Fashion Week.
Okay, so it's like a global fashion week.
Less than 30%. It takes a lot of time to get accepted over there.
Yeah.
We have been very lucky now. It has been almost 12 years for us since we started doing ready-to-wear shows in 2014 in Paris. And then 2020, we started doing haute couture. If you're a runner or if you're a swimmer, you want to be in Olympics. So that's what Paris is for you. So
okay, so it's like a stage where the best of fashion from all over the world get funneled through and only the best of the best get to come and showcase with alongside each other. It's almost like competition, right?
Like think like that. Even a ready-to-wear calendar, Alexander McQueen, British brand, showcase in Paris.
Yeah.
And Valentino showcase in Paris, Italian brand. So similarly, Stella McCartney showcase in Paris.
Right.
So I think that is what it is all about.
That's really interesting. And I think I knew this somewhere at the back of the head, but I just realized properly now that this is a really true fact.
You might be showcasing at some other fashion weeks, but the ultimate goal is Paris.
Right.
If you want to go global.
And this is a nice place to exactly go global, get global recognition.
Yeah.
And then what happens? I mean, you get some beautiful reviews for your shows, like the show you just did. It was called Alchemy, right?
Yeah.
And I was going through the images. It's like moving sculptures. how many man hours of embroidery did this show take? Because were they working on it for 5 years? It looked impossible.
Actually-
like how beautiful it was.
Actually, most difficult part is for a team
Yeah.
to conceptualize how do you create air
Yeah.
through
How do you
embroidery?
create air? Yeah.
How do you create water through embroidery? These are elements which cannot be just done in a very abstract form. They need to also feel. How can you make embroidery feel wet?
Yes.
How can you make air feels light, although it's loaded with a lot of sequin embroidery and all that?
Right.
It was actually like for me and my team, for embroidery, all of us, almost are putting 5 collections together.
Yeah, I've looked at.
And one of the international, journalists was here with us a few days back. So I was sharing like it's not about creating Klimt just by digitally printing it. It's master's work.
Right.
You're more likely to not do justice with that.
Right.
There are a million chances that you might fail in achieving the purity, the beauty, the connection.
Yes.
And you have just 1 in a million chances to succeed.
Yeah.
So if you look at that kind of, daunting task, I think because we have got a large team, achieving a collection in a quick time is easier, but getting the first swatch, it's almost like a science experiment.
Yeah. Because, I was going through the collection, the Paris Haute Couture collection he just did, the 5 elements. I promise you, the air garment, the white, it felt like she was floating. It was crazy that you achieved that. So what I was getting at is that, okay, you get amazing reviews because obviously you deserve them. Then after that, what is the goal?
Couture is like a lot of times people want one of its kind.
One of a kind, yeah.
So one of a kind piece. So in that way, we have to also, sometimes people want global exclusivity. People are ready to pay like price like $200,000, $300,000 for one single piece.
Yeah, which is fine because other French and Italian brands charge the same for haute couture with half the amount of work.
Yeah, this very well traveled, discerning customer who might be buying a lot of quite luxury, she gets really excited about looking at a piece of clothing which is truly sculptural, truly something which bridges gap between art and fashion.
Right.
So I think in that way it was really amazing, and also it also enables other creators of the world to also take a lot of recently. I think there was this fashion blog. It has posted something which was done by this Italian brand, a dragonfly version which we have done
I saw that.
2 years back. In haute couture, you create something that often becomes a kind of reference point. I think that's where the fashion starts. So more than just looking at buyers, you also create a larger impact.
You create inspiration for other people. But I'm sorry, that dragonfly was a full copy, yeah? As the blog called it was a ganda copy or gandhi copy. It was. There's something called being inspired and something just copying somebody else completely, you know?
Creating a piece of art, when you're doing haute couture, I think this, especially that look, was worn by Bjork, by a lot of publications have carried that. I think Janelle also wore that look. So because it was so widely circulated,
yes,
it was bound to create some influences, and that's not a commercial piece, so it's fine sometimes.
So you're okay with being copied or your people being inspired by you?
People being inspired, because this also creates influence. Until unless it's not damaging us financially, because otherwise we take legal actions very, very quickly.
But in India, is legal action a thing? Because a lot of other designers have told me that it's really hard to do copyright.
I do not know if you came across this Tiger Sundarban T-shirt which Mark Zuckerberg wore.
Oh yeah.
That were worn by a couple of influencers, couple of I think pop stars of India. And High Court has given a wonderful relief on that.
Oh, that's amazing.
So Delhi High Court has done an amazing landmark judgment about it. And as I speak, there are 4 or 5 cases which are going on right now. There are multiple hearings are going on. So we do not take it lightly. I will only go to court if I can show
it is damaged you financially.
Yeah, financially. Because in that way, if I have to claim some damages, I have to deposit around 1% of court fee. And then you have to go after people who have copied.
So. Okay, but this is setting a good precedent for other designers who are suffering in the same way, with this copy market situation.
Not just designers, some of the corporate, big brands, they also reached out to us.
Yeah.
To ask, how do you defend yourself? How do
Really?
you register your designs and everything? So we have got a complete system in place. We have got one of the best legal counsel in the country right now helping
Okay,
us.
good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, I'm glad to see things are changing in this department because for the longest time, there was no answer for this, you know?
Actually, we all need to realize law in any country evolves. As a person who's being copied, if I'm getting affected with this, I need to not just voice it out in press, I need to also go to court.
Yeah.
And I need to fight the case on merit so that if a judgment is passed, it somehow gives enough teeth to law so that the law can take its own course in similar kind of situations. I think this is also duty of all the creators to follow it up, and maybe you have to keep like some budget
Yeah, it's not
for
cheap.
things like these also.
Yeah, that's true. I want to ask a little bit more about your main brand, Rahul Mishra, which does couture. So apart from these beautiful pieces of art, is the backbone of your sales and the money that comes into the brand bridal and like your lehengas and the sherwanis and the bridal market?
I think our business number-wise, if I just tell you number-wise, we sell equal number of Western wear,
As Indian wear.
which is a very, very good thing. And even for stores in Delhi and Mumbai, 30 to 35% people are non-Indians who are shopping.
Non-Indians,
Yeah,
like
non-Indians.
tourists.
Some of the people, they have never seen design in real. Somebody's in China, somebody's sitting in LA, and they end up getting complete client service from our Delhi or Mumbai store team,
That's
where
amazing.
they do end-to-end service. And I find it very hard to believe a $50,000 garment just by phone appointment, seeing things on internet, reading of the brand on internet. There was so much of trust.
So then if such a big percentage of your clientele is non-Indian, then you are truly a global brand.
That's why we are also we have been very actively looking at finding some of the real estate in Europe. And,
Yeah, where do you want
and
to
other.
open next? What's the plan?
I was in 99.9%. A deal is closed.
Okay, so inshallah it'll happen, then you can tell us
it should
later.
happen as quickly as 3 to 4 months of time.
Okay.
But until that doesn't happen, I don't want to jinx it. So,
Okay. But obviously international expansions and stores outside of India is a future plan.
having a store in Paris is going to be far more easier for us to have a store in Delhi.
At least the coordination for all the shows would be easy, you know?
No, sales-wise also.
Sales-wise also, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this. So what I'm wearing is from your Pret brand, is that what you would call it? It's called AFEW.
Yeah, AFEW Rahul Mishra.
Why did you feel the need for a second brand? How does this sell?
AFEW, as name stands for AFI, Earth, Water. But AFEW, in literal way, you can say a few familiar silhouettes with a few, new details.
Right.
So what you're wearing, it's all handmade bandhani.
I love bandhani. I have a weakness for bandhani. I was at Gaurang Shah just a few days ago.
Yeah.
I was a kid in a candy shop of saris, and my eye has gone to bandhani. So beautiful.
So this is all the Raidana bandhani from Bhuj. Jabbar Bhai does it for us.
Yeah.
So we have created this jacket, which is almost like a Cossidnese jacket.
It's
the shape.
beautiful.
This is what AFEW stands for.
Yeah.
AFEW is all about creating a few ideas which might be very familiar.
Yeah.
The textile which is familiar, but a few newer details with that.
Right.
Similarly, it might be a simple T-shirt, but there's a detailing into that, and a few human hours, any which we have to go into that. So
Right.
AFEW also creates a more accessible price point.
Right.
I will not say, it is inexpensive. The T-shirt or starts at 40,000 rupees,
Right.
$500.
Right.
And it goes up to $2,000 in price point. Our couture brand, it starts after that. So when we were doing ready-to-wear in Paris, at any given time, we had 150 odd stockists across the globe. And we have got the complete know-how.
Yeah. So is AFEW going to be with stockists all over the world as well?
We are trying to restrict right now the supply. Like some of the stockists who have worked with AFEW, they have to buy seriously large quantities.
Okay.
Like Saks Fifth Avenue, when they launched AFEW last year, I think the stock was in, thousands of pieces were bought. And during Christmas time, last season, in 45 days, they have done almost 80% sell-through.
Wow.
Full price. So I think that's a great success of you. We create access in US with some select retailers. Some of the looks they sell out in few hours. So,
That's amazing.
we are very bullish about it. Like we just opened first flagship store of you at Dhanmil. It is a new brand. It is, I think, less than 2 year old.
Yeah.
But we don't want to just be a brand with a rack in a corner with 10, 20 pieces hanging over there. Because this journey I had already,
Exactly. You're
as
too far in now, Yeah.
as a Rahul Mishra brand, and also it's co-owned by us and Reliance. So
Right.
it's a JV. So
Right.
that's what brings its own power, muscle,
True.
heft, and
True.
everything. Yeah.
Has it been helpful to co-own a brand with Reliance?
It has been a wonderful journey, like almost a dream run for us. In this building, for example, we have got a Reliance office also.
Okay.
A lot of our teams are also joint teams, which are kind of working on both the brands together, which is great. So one of the reasons when I started it also, I wanted to keep it in the same building where I go every day. I'm the one who wants to move faster.
Reliance is like, relax, holding you back, calm down, let's take it slow.
No, I tell you, as a brand, me and Divya, we both drive our brand a lot more with intuition. And that is where it might be more logic and less of intuition.
But sometimes having intuition and logic together as a team is a good thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's good for longevity also.
It would have been very easy for us to open a few stores right at the launch. So Rahul Mishra's name over there, Reliance is there.
Yeah.
You just open a store at Bond Street, or you open a store here and there.
Yeah.
The best thing is we didn't fall for that.
Right.
It's almost like, I would say, when a child is born, you have to give the nursery time. You need to nurse it really, really well.
Nurture it first.
And
yeah.
if parents of the brand are like super heavyweights and all the rest, still nurturing is needed.
Exactly.
So I think that's how we also treated a few, and that is what has made brand really powerful and also a strong foundation.
I don't think I really asked this to any designer or many designers before. How does it feel to be one of the most popular or important voices representing Indian fashion?
I think you have to be responsible. So before I even got into this, Divya she called me from home. She said, Rahul, I think you have to be very careful in terms of what we talk about.
Right.
I also feel authenticity is something which has to be maintained. You can't just keep talking about something without really following it. Also, as you keep growing, your expectations also keep ballooning up. There's no end to those.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest measures of success is also the longevity of your team.
Yes, I
How
agree.
healthy they are.
Yes.
How long they want to work with you.
That's true.
And how much they miss you. A lot of team members who have gone, they still track everything. They still send me personal messages after a good show, after seeing something which is happening with the brand. Even when you are gone from this building, you're working somewhere else, still you have a sense of belonging. That place was mine.
Yeah.
I think this is the biggest measure of success. And there can be some upsetting things where, we all are humans. We all might come across sometimes very difficult. But I think overall, I really want to make sure 8 hours of time, which we're spending here, they should be happy at least for 7 hours, 55 minutes in the 8 hours.
That's so sweet. Yeah. That's so
5 minutes can be stressful, doesn't matter. That's also part of life.
Yeah.
But I think this is really, really important. Otherwise, your success, failure, nothing's going to last forever.
That's true. Since you interact with so many people on a global scale, whether it's journalists or clients or other designers, what is the impression from outside of Indian design and Indian designers?
There's a huge reverence. Anything which is made in India has got a great amount of respect. People treasure it. And every time I meet somebody, they always talk about a story where they were in Jaipur or Kerala or they were in north of India.
Yeah, they always have a fun story in India.
And a lot of stories also related to craft.
Yeah.
And food.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think beauty of India is almost like, India is like all European Union nations which are together in one country in a way.
Right.
A few days back, I was meeting French president again.
Right.
So I met him a few times.
Right.
I kind of informed him that I'm opening a store, hopefully very soon over there in Paris. He was saying, I'm going to help you. So he quickly called his team and everybody was giving cards and all that. And he was like, I don't want to just help you because I know you, but I really feel, what you guys are doing is amazing.
Yeah.
Work is really unique, really amazing. And everything what he's touching or interacting with or seeing comes from craft of India.
Right.
That's the first touch point of India.
Yeah.
The craft of India. I think in that way, India is a serious soft power of the world. When we think about AI, when we think about a new world order where $1 billion empire will be created by one single person, I really feel it's better to build a brand which can employ more than 1 million people.
What I'm getting from this conversation, I think employment support, really being there for the craftsmen and craftspeople of India is a big reason why you do what you do. Is that true?
A country like ours, I do not see anywhere employment coming for a craftspeople. I really wish there was something which would pay them 10 times or 2 times, even 2 times, what embroidery workers get paid while doing embroidery, and they've got better life to them. This embroidery can live in museums. It doesn't need to exist. We all are happy wearing simple clothes.
Right.
Why my every collection carries hand embroidery today? Because we have a responsibility for 2,000 to 3,000 families who are dependent on getting work.
Yeah.
It's less of what you really want to do. It's more of what you need to do.
Yeah.
So I think we don't have choice. Even a few also, we try to find some way where hand can come into play. There's a bit of participation, even when you're making a t-shirt.
Right.
So I think unemployment is going to be a bigger problem in coming future for humanity.
Yeah.
Till the time a new world order does not decide about maybe a bit more socialist kind of framework,
Yes.
where actually AI works and humans get proportional money opportunity without work. I think till the time, I think in a country like ours, hand embroidery, craft is going to create employment for millions of people, and how we can contribute a bit to it.
That's why this design and fashion industry is so important. One of the reasons why, right? Yeah.
I talked to Afzal Bhai Hukum Kohli. He's working on my new collection. He is a beautiful, amazing weaver, amazing enthusiastic weaver from Chanderi. Amir Khan and Kareena Kapoor went to his small hut in 2008 to promote Three Idiots.
Okay.
They all were living in a very, very small, almost like 10 by 15 feet kind of a hut.
Yes.
There was a one pit loom over there. There was an open kitchen. There was just one charpai. That's it. And what they could serve them was lauki tomato ki sabji and puris.
Acha.
He drives car today.
That's amazing.
He has got one of my colleague. He's a filmmaker. He went to Chanderi to shoot document the process of what we are doing new for our upcoming a few collection.
Yeah.
And he said like he came to pick me on car. He just bought the car like a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And Hukumji, he's of my age. He has not studied beyond, I think, 5th grade in school. In the world, I cannot think about any other profession which can empower an embroiderer or craft person in such a way that you have not gone to school and you can still make a good living for your life, for your family, doing right things in life.
That's
and
amazing.
doing artful things.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. Okay, I want to ask you something frivolous and fun now.
Sorry, it has been very serious. It's almost like looks like
no, it's been you know
more
what?
like social.
it's been a little serious, but it's been beautiful, and I think this is a really important conversation. I didn't intend for it to go this way, but I think I am learning so much from this conversation and the importance of why we do what we do in this industry has just gone up like 10 folds after this conversation with you. Like, it's something I knew, but again, like, you've really brought it to the forefront in my mind as well, which I think is so nice. So thank you for that. But no harm in having some fun. I want to know, which look did you really enjoy? Like, one look that stands out in your mind, you were like, it was styled perfectly. I love the way they represented Rahul Mishra. Like, you were so happy when the pictures came out.
Recently we did like this beautiful outfit for Ariana Grande.
Right.
And she got that corset which was inspired from her set, Wicked.
Yeah.
And she called me. It was 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
She was like, how did you even create it? What kind of craftsmanship is it? It's almost a magical.
Right.
So she was, how many people work on this? She had like all the possible questions about craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And that was somehow best way of looking at Indian craft.
Yeah.
Again, like something which is high up there is India wearing the sari.
Oh, yes. At the NMACC opening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that girl is just something else. Yeah.
Obviously, I've dressed her more than 4-5 times. When I got to know she's coming to India, and it was simple brief. And Law was like, I'm not styling anymore. He had retired at the time. He said, you have to style it. And it's just that she's coming to Mumbai. Now think about it, what you can create. First time I created stitched sari. I always believe the sari has to stay exactly the same way. You have to pleat it and
Classic,
all that.
Yeah.
So I pleated it. I created this almost sari gown kind of idea. And along with that, I didn't know if she will to carry it with the choli and all that. I created 2 more gowns.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. I took a hotel room where she would come and change. And I was surprised. She had no other options. She had no options, just these 3 outfits because we thought about making 3. And she wore it. And she asked me, Rahul, would you like to make a video? When you're not wearing makeup and all the celebs, they really
they don't want
think multiple times. Then I made a video also, which is there on my phone. And that entire thing looked so amazing on her. She didn't try a second look.
That girl can pull off anything.
Wearing sari requires a bit of elegance, a bit of
a carriage,
poise.
like a certain carriage,
And she looked as if like she has been wearing sari all her life.
That's true.
And the way she walked, the way, I still remember like she was on red carpet and she called me, Rahul, when do you come? And we both were together over there. So yeah, that was one of the I think biggest moments which are creative ones in life.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I cannot leave this conversation without asking you about this beautiful house in the Himalayas you've made. So it's this beautiful house. It's like a homestay in the middle of the mountains.
When I got married to Divya,
Yeah.
it's the first time I looked at beauty of, Kumaon Hills.
Okay.
Nothing is curated, all lush green, with wild animals, birds, everything. So since that time, every time I was going to her house, I was looking for property.
Okay, so your wife is from Kumaon.
Yeah, from Kumaon. Then finally, when I found it, I want to experiment on architecture.
Yeah, it looks stunning.
And because I studied industrial design from NID, so I spent 7 years on campus. So learned furniture making, space design, graphic design, everything. So NID was like that. So less amount of fashion design. So I'm still trying to figure out what fashion is. And also, I've done science graduation. So I do understand the weight, load, everything. So I started working on creating the house where house is completely reversible. Why I say reversible? Like it's made on nut bolts. You can remove the entire house and surrender back land to nature again.
Oh, interesting.
It's like as impermanent as enduring. So the whole architecture is. We use pure materials like steel, wood, and glass, and stone. And a lot of stones we repurpose, recycled from there. And also, we have rotated 99 degrees towards east so that I don't require artificial heating. My house is usually warm and it's cold in summer because of chimney effect. We open the chimney and hot air escapes. It was almost like studying sun's path, studying wind pattern and everything, and we built this house. It took us like 2-3 years of time. but I was more excited about architecture than fashion.
You just said, oh, he said off camera, his first love is architecture. Is this true? You prefer to design?
Right now, I'm kind of enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also zone, because what happens once I'm doing architecture, it also allows me to think differently about fashion. I think a lot of art inspired couture which is happening because of my engagement in architecture. So I'm thinking beyond body.
Right.
What forms can be created.
Right.
That's a lot of new type pattern making. It's not, creating a garment is not just for creating embroidery. You also draft,
right, of course,
something,
the silhouette and
something where shape is really never seen before. So architecture is helping us a lot. And then Mrs. Lal from Sitara, Good Earth. So she had been also one of the person, almost like a mentor. So we went to her house and I showed her this house. She said, Rahul and Divya, you are not going to live there for entire year.
That's true.
Whenever you are there, you live there. Then after that, rest of the time, you should share with the world. You should curate a nice team which has got good experience hospitality. And it's all internal team. Select guests based on invitation. So far, we have taken around 8-10 guests since the time we opened it. And the experience has been amazing.
If someone wants to stay in this stunning house, it's in Kumaon, right? Or outside of Kumaon?
It's close to Ranikhet.
Close to Ranikhet. So if somebody wants to stay there, they email you and then you approve the guest? Like, how does this work?
It's a private home, and I think we want to also make sure that, like in couture, we also create design experiences. Like, recently there was a group of 12. They wanted very theme-based ideas. So my team curated everything for them.
Yeah.
From food to decor to everything. And so, in that way, I really feel that purpose is not just to stay exclusive, but also to give those kind of experiences which are otherwise not possible in the world. So there are some do's and don'ts. It's not because it's my house, but otherwise also. And
just
we
to
want
respect the area that it's in. And
yeah, we have to respect village. We are the only, I think you are going to be only outsider over there. You have to respect local culture. You have to respect village.
The forest. Yeah.
You have to respect forest. You have to respect a lot of those things. So I think that's why people are not able to book it online. We understand the requirement, and my team is really, really good in doing that.
Is this like a little foot in the door to eventually get more into architecture, since you love it so much, and hospitality? Are you thinking of it in like a bigger way in the future, maybe?
I don't want to sound, too ambitious or too greedy about it, but so far it's happening really, really well.
Yeah.
People are really enjoying it. And I'm also contributing a lot to our stores, which are upcoming stores, the way space needs to look like.
Right. You're designing your own stores. Architecturally,
a lot of time, I also do a lot of collaboration. Like, sometimes I'm leading, or sometimes architect is leading. Rushad has done a beautiful job.
Yeah, Rushad is so talented.
For a Mumbai store.
Yeah.
But he made me work really hard on that because he almost asked us to create so much of wall art.
Right.
For the store. He wanted every piece either to be inspired or created by the studio, which every wall, every piece.
Oh, so the Mumbai shop is probably like a little gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, must go see properly. I think I went once long time ago. I need to go back again. Yeah.
Because most of the time what happens, like a lot of retail stores, a lot of beautiful stores, which are, there are the two processes. One is you externalize it. You just curate, you buy things probably from antique market and something, then you layer it with different
elements,
things, different elements, and that's how you create a beautiful experience. But for this, Rushad was very clear. He said, Rahul, every element has to come from your clothes. Everything has to come from your studio. So whether it is a marble lamp, it needs to carry the motif, which you have got motif. So everything had to be created at our studio to curate that.
Nice. So wonderful. Thank you, Rahul. This has been such a good conversation.
Thank you so much.
I think I've learned a lot, and I think it's been quite eye-opening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking so many wonderful things, because I think a lot of times in visual sense of fashion, the deeper meanings are lost.
Yeah, I think you bring it out in me. I sit with you when I start thinking of all these things I want to ask you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So today I'm wearing this beautiful jacket by AFEW Rahul Mishra and this stunning necklace by Oran Jewelry & Co.